Hey Sean, do you have a favorite female superhero, and why do you think it's harder for some audiences to connect with them than their male counterparts? Two very different questions. So I said this many times before, I don't actually like to pick favorites. I actually really don't like picking favorites. I'm just not wired that way. Because of what I do and because I became the ranking guy, inherently I have to pick favorites. But the only reason that I say that Terminator 2 is my favorite movie of all time is kind of because I have to. Obviously, I love that movie, but how much is it more my favorite movie than Rocky or Predator or Aliens or Back to the Future? You know, that's Die Hard. It's negligible. I don't like to pick favorites. Favorite female superhero. Sometimes it's also a little bit tough because you kind of go different renditions of the characters go in different directions. And so they flesh out the lore in ways that are interesting. Like, this is a fresh one. Like Batgirl's interesting in Batman the Animated Series when it's kind of plays into Commissioner Gordon's daughter ends up teaming up with Batman Bruce Wayne. It's kind of interesting. And then they bring back kind of in continuity to a extended version of The Killing Joke where there's a love or like a dating relationship between Batgirl and Batman. And like, no, this is uncomfortable. And so they took one that's like, oh, I really like that. And they made it uncomfortable. And it's something that I didn't end up liking. I mean, Wonder Woman, of course, is iconic, classic. I mean, Wonder Woman, probably the best female starring comic book movie of all time. I just don't like picking favorites. It's always complicated and tricky. Like, I think Scarlet Witch and Wanda in the MCU is a very compelling character because she's not clearly a hero. She's just a person that has good and bad qualities and frequently is on the good side, but sometimes goes really bad. That's interesting. I think Black Widow on paper, it's not one of my favorite characters, but they made this compelling character throughout the course of the MCU. So I don't know if there's a real obvious one that I'm missing in all of this. There's usually someone that's like, oh, that's who I should have said. And sometimes you just forget when you're talking live on these deals. Why do you think it's harder for some audiences to connect with them than with their male counterparts? Well, I think the bigger issue is who has had better movies and had more opportunities. Because you look at like, oh, why did people not connect with the Supergirl movie back in the 80s? Because it wasn't very good. Why did people not connect with Catwoman? Because it was terrible. It was like a parody of itself. Why did people not connect with Elektra? Because it wasn't very good. There's a lot of them that were misfires. The issue is not that audiences can't connect with female characters. It's just they didn't make very good movies. And then I think like Captain Marvel is a character in the first Captain Marvel that is written to be kind of at arm's length because she has amnesia. She's like the most powerful person in the room, but doesn't know who she is. So she's constantly be told who she is by other people. But she hasn't figured herself out, but she's also has a certain confidence, at times arrogance about her that's earned because she's the most powerful person in the room. And so that kind of keeps someone a little bit at arm's length. No one had trouble connecting with Gal in Wonder Woman. No one. Like, there's a great character. It's a great movie. And part of that is that you had a film that was entertaining. It was thoughtful. And you had a very relatable lead character. Despite her being this super powerful Wonder Woman with all these powers, they played her as a human. That's flawed and has great qualities, and she's nurturing and loving and wants to connect with someone. And then at the same time, there also is an arrogance about her that drives the course of the whole movie, where she thinks she can just solve it. She thinks she has it all figured out, and she's not even ignorant. It's very human, despite being about Wonder Woman. So no one had trouble connecting with her. People pretty quickly connected really well with Black Widow. Once they established the character beyond her just being the person designed to be hot that Tony Stark was attracted to in Iron Man 2, once they actually made her a character, people connected with the character. So I think a lot of it is that. And I trying to figure out whatever that is. In a lot of recent female-led action films, they write the characters weird. They like instead of making a good character, they try to make a strong character, and in doing so, make a bad character. But Wonder Woman wasn't that. Like, you look at these, it's right there. Like, we all loved that. And so I think it's a lot of it is that Hollywood is very weird in how they try and overcorrect for things and handle things. And they don't know how to write vulnerable women that are still strong. So it's very weird the way that some of the ones they've done. I think it's that. I mean, there's jerk audience members out there too that, like, anytime I have a girl in one of my videos, I kind of monitor the comment section dramatically more than normal because more jerks show up and more awful comments are made. That's a real thing. But that doesn't mean that every criticism is that. But I think a lot of it, it's, I mean, you think, how many people forever have said Aliens, Ripley, great character, Sarah Connor, great character. There's all of these very, like, female superhero or action hero characters that people have connected with because they felt like they were written as a good character first. And some of that seems to have been lost in how Hollywood keeps dealing with things. But it's tough because as soon as you even start saying things like that, you get lumped in with a whole wing of the internet that I don't want to be lumped in with, but I think there's some criticisms there that are based in reality. Most of these clips are pulled from my Patreon live streams. I do about 6 live streams every single month. For $2 per month, $20 per year, you can get access to all the exclusive videos and live streams. For $5 per month, you get your name on my end card. At the top tier, you get a 30-minute video chat with me each month. The link down below in the description has more information.